Glad we could do a quick live before game night. Tonight is the night, of course. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling up the chat in case there is one. Your channel, live. Well, I guess I'm not getting a chat tonight. All right, so I'm going to give it a minute to get going here, and I got a couple things we're going to talk about briefly. Game night starts in about an hour and 10 minutes or so, and I want to talk about what's tonight's game session is going to be, some things I have upcoming for the channel, and a couple of new hobbies I picked up recently. And I swear this works. There we go. Well, there's last week's. So weird. So I don't know how to do all of this. All this is just a test to test out, you know, how this all works. Is it narcissistic of me if I subscribe to myself? I'm just gonna check subscriptions. All right, so like I said last time we talked, I picked up a 3D printer. And, you know, I do a little painting of minis and stuff, but I don't have a ton of time to actually do it. So for tonight's session, I printed some stuff that I'll show you. I did not have time to paint any of it, however. And so that is kind of the deal. Kind of the deal. Because I'm such a YouTube noob that I don't even know where to go find my own chat. Your channel. Live. Now, I'm live right now, so this thing should be registering on there, but it is not. So that's a technical difficulty. Tell me I don't have to go get the MacBook for this. All right, well, no chat it is then, because I can't figure it out, because I suck. All right, so for videos for the channel coming up in the next weeks, so I started kind of like journaling a concept about momentum at the table. And the momentum at the table, it turned into a huge thing. It could have been easily, you know, 2 sessions and not 3. And then it just kept getting longer and longer and longer and longer. And now it's, you guys, it's gonna be a 5-part series on momentum. Oh, dear goodness. But yeah, it's gonna be a 5-part series on momentum. And oh, that explains it. It's a 5-part series on momentum. You know, momentum, and a lot of subjects, you know, talking about running games. It sounds like you're kind of, you know, contradicting yourself. And I started with about a 7-minute video, and I was like, man, this really has got a lot of contradiction in it, and each segment really needs its own space. So I'm going to give that subject a lot of space. It's either going to get me 1 million subscribers or run me down to 0, right? That's so funny. Tonight's game sesh. Tonight's game, So if you were around for Thanksgiving, you know I like to do holiday themed sort of adventures, kind of like holiday one-shots. We did a nice one. Oh, here we go. All right. I got the chat up if there's going to be one. Themed. Pause. So, sort of adventures, kind of like holiday one-shots. Aren't you annoying? We did a nice one. Oh, here we go. All right. I got to turn the volume down because that's hideous. All right. So I like to do holiday themed one-shots. Thanksgiving, we had a great one, and it was fantastic. And the players were they had such a good time. So I really wanted to outdo myself for the Christmas theme. And I really think I outdid myself with this one. And so we all know the story of the Grinch and how the Grinch stole Christmas, right? So what happened to the Grinch at the end? Everybody knows his heart grew 3 sizes too big, and he saved Christmas. And so before that, his heart was 2 sizes too small. And why does this matter? Okay, so he goes, okay, let's just break down the story. He's ranting and raving to his dog about 53 years. His dog's name's Max, if anybody doesn't remember. He's ranting and raving about having to hear the Who's and their roast beast and they're singing and all this BS. And so he goes down and he steals all the stuff. He runs into little Cindy Lou who was barely even 2, and sends her back to bed, yada, yada, yada. And then he steals all the stuff and he goes up to the top of this mountain to watch. And the Who's, Christmas morning, they come out of their homes and they go right to the town center and they go hand in hand and they start singing. So the Grinch was unable to stop Christmas because it came anyway. Okay. So his heart grows 3 sizes too big as all the stuff's falling, and he turns into this psycho Christmas guy. So you all know the rest of the story. The sled goes back into town and he's giving out all the Christmas decorations and presents, and even the Grinch himself carved the roast beast. It's a great story. But what happens to that guy with the heart that's 3 sizes too big? Now, I can't help but think that the heart being 3 sizes too big is metaphoric for emotions, obviously, in my opinion. However, fast forward 15 years. Little Cindy Lou, who was barely even 2, is now 16, 17 years old. And the Grinch is this authoritarian, oppressive force who demands the Who's celebrate Christmas every day. And oh my goodness, this is great. This is great. I love this. And so the Who's are now just going through the motions to appease a tyrant dictator, right? And nothing like a little political intrigue for Christmas, So the Who's start to lose their faith in Christmas. And what's that bring in? That brings in Krampus. So now you have an authoritarian ruler, slave driving the Who's to do their Christmas celebration every single day. And they lose faith. Krampus comes in to punish the boys and girls who don't believe in Christmas, all right? Are you with me? And so now the players, I've put the players in this position where they're going to roll into town, see what's going on, and they have to decide what is the greater evil. Is Krampus the one who's killing the, not necessarily killing, he's just doing bad things and making them disappear to the kids and adults who don't believe? And then, or the Grinch, who's this authoritarian ruler. So I did a minimal prep on this one because I want it to be like the players have to decide where the fight lies. So it's not a story where you fill in all the blanks for them. You give them just enough rope to hang themselves by. And so I have just a couple quick notes on it. But yeah, Cindy Lou Who is now all grown up. I've got her as the last Who that believes in Christmas. And she's gonna be the one. Now, in some way, now I didn't write it, I didn't write the plot entirely, but I have some options for this, okay? And as far as stat blocks go, how to run this at your own table. Stat blocks. So there's obviously, let me get my Shadow Dark book or some D&D book. There's no Grinch, okay? So you just have to kind of guess. Kind of go by the level of your players, experience of your players. So I chose the Owlbear stat block for the Grinch. He's kind of an imposing figure over the Who's, who are all these frail, skinny little weak people. And then Krampus, I use the Goat Man from Shadow Dark. I think it's a good, I think it carries over really well. And let me go back to some more here. So basically, there's some random encounters, and and it's Christmassy, silly stuff. I wouldn't publish this, Let me get a Kickstarter going for this thing. But the thing that's going to make this module work is I'm not going to explain the belief. I'm not going to explain, excuse me. I'm not going to, reward speeches. It's the quiet acts, and it's you have to let the players kind of argue about where the most pressing issue lies. And I think with a lot of pre-written modules, especially the old ones, you feel like it's kind of forced. And as soon as I say that, somebody can give me a dozen examples that isn't. But for the most part, I feel like there's a overwhelming tendency to try to railroad when you do something published. That's why I kind of like to do my own. I rely on the players to build the world with me. And I've said that a million times. So, but yeah, that's what we're gonna do tonight. And so listen, I didn't paint it, but I 3D printed Whoville. So I've got like 5 or 6 of these little houses. They sit in a circle. And then I got the Grinch. I got Cindy Lou Who. And I got Krampus. Now Krampus, if you've never seen it, this is a horror movie. I mean, these are horror movies, and Krampus doesn't himself always do the punishing. So he'll send his hunters and possessed Who's, so other Who's will be doing things to other Who's, and listen, it's a 3 or 4 hour session, Christmas spirit. There's gonna be apple cake. My wife's bringing apple cake tonight. I invited her to play. I told her she could star as Cindy Lou Who tonight, but she's not interested. But she's making apple cake. I'll put pictures of that in another video. But yeah, I just started 3D printing, and talk about a frustrating hobby. These things are tedious. Somebody hands you something. Hey, I made this on my 3D printer. Man, there's a lot to it. It really keeping the thing working correctly, and different kinds of material, and there's really a lot to it. So I'm exploring more on that to build out my dungeons, and I look back at my thousands of dollars worth of Dwarven Forge terrain, and I'm just like, and it's not even out. I mean, where is it? I've got $1,000 or more, probably $1,200 worth of Dwarven Forge, and we barely even use it. And how much cooler is it to just kind of make your own and all that stuff. But Christmas time is very busy for us. We have a lot of barbecue orders and a lot of big catering style pizza orders. And so I just don't have the time. Listen, I need more time in the day, but I'm stuck with the usual 24 hours like the rest of us. So there's just not enough time to get the stuff done. But the point of the adventure is to decide if they have to, maybe they got to unalive the Grinch. Maybe they have to shrink his heart back down to normal size so he's not this psycho, Maybe, and then maybe by taking care of the Grinch, and faith gets restored to the Who's, then Krampus will just go away on his own. So that's even like a non-starter. You don't even have to. Oh man, it's pizza night. All right. So whoever just called me from Portland, Oregon, we're closed on Mondays, y'all. But yeah, no. So and one of the optional things was to have Cindy Lou come to town. The day the players are there happens to be maybe a couple of days before the real Christmas. And during that celebration, Cindy Lou Who is gonna march out into the snowy wilderness and find a tree, and she smuggled an ornament off the main tree in Whoville, hang it up, maybe light a candle, do something. And to trigger that Christmas can still happen. Hello. Man, we are closed on Mondays. Every Monday. No problem. I'm problem. We're up here getting ready to have game night going, but we have never been open on Monday. But if I keep getting calls, if I get about 40 more people calling, we'll start doing it, man. Awesome, brother. Thanks so much, man. Bye. All right, that's one way to handle it. But yeah, that's going to be the adventure. So I know it was kind of choppy, bits and pieces. Guys, put it together for me. Let me know what you think in the comments, and you can look for that series on Momentum. The series of Momentum, it's not fully fleshed out yet, but I have the first couple of episodes done, so that's gonna come out later next week. I'm probably not doing anything over Christmas, New Year. We just got so much going on here at the shop. I got tax year, inventory. I got so many things to do. All my employees get a raise this year at the end of the year, and it's just not enough time for YouTube channel stuff. So, but yeah, anyway, I appreciate you guys. My name's Rick. Save versus BS. Like, subscribe, and do all the things, guys. And I'll see you in the dark. And I'm gonna walk up here and hit stop. Bam.